We can't hear you. You should be able to unmute now. Y'all gonna get some game as well too at the end when it comes to credit. I'm gonna show you guys if y'all been getting denied for renting. I'm gonna show you guys where to go through and what to delete off your consumer report. What these rental companies are looking at. Can you not mute yourself? Y'all can keep flooding the chat too with some more gratitude. I love the gratitude. Always open to receive more. I'm asking to unmute. Yeah, I even made you host, so now you should be good. Press the unmute button. Oh, we got Gen X.
Okay, listen, no.
Okay,
I know how to use social media. It was my phone. It was frozen. I apologize. Hi, everybody. I'm Vanessa. I'm Tone's mom. Sorry about that. I'm a little bit hip still. So I wanted to start this off by just kind of sharing something. I always write down different things, especially when I'm sharing something that's so important to me. When you listen to what I have to say, I want you to think about change and what change means. What change means. Change means what feels fiercely scary before you try something new, but turns out to be all good in the end. So with that being said, change is always hard for people. And I feel like, especially the older we get, and even sometimes with younger, individuals, we feel like we're being told certain things and we want to find our own way. If there is one thing that I could share is, Tone said this, the front of all your packaging is for entertainment, the back is for education. Know what you are putting into your bodies, what you're putting into your homes. People always say the most important place is home, right? Wherever you lay your head, where you feel safe, where you feel like you should be growing the most. And when I got pregnant with Mateo, who is now 4 years old, I was looking for something different. I thought, I'm going to make my own products, but then I'm like, realistically, where am I going to come up with this time, right? Not saying that it can't be done, and kudos to those of you who can do it, but it wasn't just that. It was everything. It wasn't just on my cleaning products. It was what I was putting onto my skin, what I was putting into my body as far as my vitamins. I didn't realize how many fillers come in vitamins. And I was so afraid to put anything into my body into my mouth when I was pregnant with Mateo. And so, though I had known about this shop club, I didn't take it seriously the first time. And as I learned more about it and learned what it could provide for our family, and just thinking about, I get these phone calls all the time, like, okay, Vanessa, what are you doing? Can you tell me a little bit about this shop club? Why don't you have a headache after you clean your house? Why don't you call it a day after you clean your house? Think about it. Most people, when they clean their house, they're using bleach, pine sol, fabuloso, all of those ingredients, all of those things. And if you research, and let me back up a little bit more, even if you have young children or you have siblings or you have grandchildren, depending on where you are in life, or you're about to conceive or you're having trouble conceiving, most of the organic products on the shelf, they are owned by Johnson & Johnson. And Johnson & Johnson, if you look into them, is one of the companies that is being sued for billions of dollars, right? Because their products cause cancer, especially in baby products. And so how scary is that? So the more I looked into this, the more I was like, this is legit. People, I have sensitive skin, most of my kids do. And so, we had some products that were quote unquote organic, and if we travel or different things like that, I'd bring them with me. And though I was using my shop club products, Mateo was getting like little rashes, and I'm like, what? So I just know that this is legit. And I feel like when you're, going to purchase a new home, I have so many realtors, friends, that, and people that I know that leave gifts for their customers as well when they're purchasing, and they're doing a whole basket of new, cleaning supplies and stuff. So we have over 400 products. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. Think about what you're putting into your bodies, what you're putting into your homes. Think about when you use bleach, how you get or any of those other products I said, you have to open your windows, you have to turn on the fan, you have to turn on the fan above, you bring in a fan, and then you're still sick, and then you're out for the rest of the day. Well, with this, none of that happens. The other thing is the products are made here in the United States. They're not, with inflation, their prices have not changed. It's a 37-year-old company. The product that we have that is comparable to bleach is approved by the EPA, and it's registered. It's a plant-based disinfectant, and it's patented. So we want to share that with you guys, because as you're growing your financial portfolios and you're learning different things, we want your homes to be safe. We want your minds to be safe, and your bodies as well. So we'd like to share this with you. We have a short video we can send out to you. If you'd send Tone your email and phone number, I'll get it over to you. If it doesn't come from me, it comes from him. And if it's something that you're interested in pursuing even more, we can help answer any questions, and we can send you a link. I'll just give you a little breakdown on it. I always tell everybody, it's like getting a Costco or Sam's Club membership with our shop club. Sorry. It's normally $19 for the year, but right now it's only $1. There's not an auto ship with the company, but I tell everybody you shop every month, right? So everybody brushes their teeth, I hope, every day, washes their clothes, takes a shower, and cleans their homes. So like I said, we have over 400 products. You can choose, they come to your door. I tell people they're like Trader Joe's, Sprouts, quality at Target and Walmart pricing without the toxins. So there's that part of it. You can just shop. Let me just tell you, as you're opening your portfolios, the company is a debt-free company. They offer a great compensation plan as well. And it's a way that you can share it, just like I tell people. What do you get for sharing where you bought your Christmas tree from, or your favorite restaurant, or your favorite movie that you're going to come out and see? You get absolutely no compensation in return. Well, for buying what you're going to use anyways and sharing it with your friends, it has an amazing compensation plan. And it literally can change everybody's lives. And I love it. It's not a direct sales company. It's not a multi-level marketing company, which I absolutely love them as well. However, it's something that you can do with whatever you're doing in life right now. And with that said, I just am thankful that, I'm sorry, my son is out here, my youngest son's out here, my grandson. So
Mommy,
I try to hide from them. This is okay, say hi really fast.
Hi.
If you guys have any questions, you can reach out to Tone or to I. I do have a private group. Yeah, this is where I'm a little bit old, on Facebook, and it shares. I have tons of information about our different products as well. You can friend request me on Facebook or on Instagram, and I can send you a link to get to my Facebook if you have one. It's worth it. Again, this video is 6 minutes long, and I'm excited to hear what Antonio's friend is going to share with the real estate industry, because this opportunity is allowing me to be able to, and for my family, be able to, one, to stay home and raise Aunt Mateo, but to open new doors to look into real estate in the future. So it's just something that I wanted to share with you guys. And sorry, he stepped on something. And I hope that you guys have an amazing, blessed evening.
My boys, they're crazy. I love it. I appreciate you, Mom, for your time, for your value, and yeah, for your wisdom always, and just your energy. Definitely, I know everybody here can take away some value and probably learn something new for sure, and something in which we all just got to raise our awareness to, and things in which we don't really typically think about on a day-to-day basis. But as you always tell me, if you knew better, you do better. So I'm excited to bring up this next speaker, Carmen. And right after that, like I said, we're going to get into some credit things as well too. But before we do, she's somebody in which I went to high school with, we go way back to Spanish class sophomore year, when I was a little sophomore, playing football, and Carmen had helped me grow a lot just throughout my high school career. And we had been close friends throughout high school, and just after high school, just stayed connected. She always showed love. I always seen her on her grind. She got started in the network marketing company, which I had originally gotten started with. And from there, once I had seen that she got started with, and who she was partnered with and the things she was doing and accomplishing, and just making moves. I seen her in Miami all the time, like with big net worth individuals and just CEOs. So I know she's a boss, because you truly are who you surround yourself with. And ever since she's been out of high school, she's surrounded herself with high net worth individuals, and been out in Miami and just doing her thing out in Miami and learning from some of the biggest in the game in the real estate industry, really above all else. Out there, a big multi-million-dollar broker, and I know she's got a lot of value in the real estate industry, and I'm excited just to hear some insight, hear what she's got for you guys, all the value, and just to share this platform with her, and just to share the YBC community with her, and just to share and see a little bit about what we have going on with our community. We connect with other entrepreneurs that are dominating the industry, and I show the credit side of things on the personal and the business side. Show you guys how to go out, clean your guys' credit, and go out and acquire it to where once you can acquire the funding through credit, now we can get into real estate. Now we can get into Turo, like my guy Ever. I believe he's on this call. He's not on this one. Actually, he is. Ever's gone out his credit and gone out and got 2 cars and listed them on Turo. So now we can do the same thing with real estate, financing mortgages, and with these mortgages, and even if it's a rental property, Airbnb arbitration and going out and renting a property. But a lot of you guys are getting denied rentals. So I'm gonna show you guys how to not get denied. But before we do that, I'm gonna welcome Carmen and let her go ahead and share some value with all of you guys. So if you can, let me unmute you and give us some game.
Okay.
Wait, Mom, you gotta make me host again, Mom.
I
Go
think
ahead.
can everyone hear me well? My mic was acting a little weird earlier. Good. Okay.
Yeah, we can
Hi,
hear you
everyone.
perfectly.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Carmen. I am an Arizona real estate agent and working on my Florida license right now. Tone, thank you. I know we've been talking about getting on a call and doing one for so long, so I'm happy it's finally happening. I do apologize. I was going to be on here a bit longer, but I do have some out of town clients that need to go look at a property before they leave tomorrow. So I have to go do that today. But I am going to touch base on just a couple different points that I think are really important and run parallel with what Antonio is talking about. I'm not going to get into it too heavy, but I'm going to touch some points. And then I guess if people have questions and want to kind of go into it further from there, we can. If I went into detail just about one topic, I'd be here for an hour. But credit and real estate obviously are important. Credit is important with absolutely everything, but especially right now. And as you guys, I'm sure some of you are homeowners, the crazy market that it's been. So it's an interesting time. But I really kind of want to start and go back to kind of the origination of mortgages, loans, and the credit system itself. So in 1949 is really the rise of the U.S. mortgage market. Between 1949 and the 21st century, even up until now. But really 1949 was the pivotal point where the mortgage industry in the U.S. really just started to come about. And mortgages have been around forever. I mean, loans have been around forever. You can go back into Roman times and you could trade a chicken for this for that, right? Now it just has about more monetary meaning to it. But credit is absolutely essential to home ownership. And it's really important, even with renters. Antonio has been helping my renters left and right with their credit. They've been getting denied, even if they had supplement income, even if they had renter's history. Right now, with just the competitive market, if you don't have a high credit score, it is a lot harder to get a loan or to be able to get an apartment. And it can be really confusing. And it was frustrating for me. I'm 23 years old. I do not own a home currently. I've rented my home, obviously, up until now, I've been a renter. And within the past year, I myself was like, okay, I need to start acquiring some property and some real estate. I've been around real estate my whole life. My sister has been an agent over here for about 20 years. And so I was an assistant to her for quite some time, and really just allowed the mentorship to kind of flow in until I obtained my real estate license recently. Um, but the first thing, so with credit, I guess it would kind of depend. You have your cash buyer, you have your loan buyer, right? And your credit's obviously going to go hand in hand with both, but there's going to be different routes that those those title agencies and mortgage companies and brokerages take. So I do have some notes here I wrote down. It's been a crazy week. I apologize. I have very limited storage in my brain right now. But when talking about ownership, home ownership, and how it impacts the health of your credit, you are usually going to be talking about just a mortgage loan, right? And so mortgage loans and other financial data appear on your credit report. I'm still learning more so about the actual in and outs of credit. So Antonio, if I'm incorrect or if there's something that stands out to you, please correct me on this. But usually with mortgage and pre-qualification, let's start there. So when you're ready to buy a home, the first step you're going to have to take is to get pre-qualified. That is absolutely the most important first step. And with that does come a credit check. Usually it is a soft pull. Other times it's not. And that's going to affect your credit itself. Even big purchases during escrow, let's say you're in the process and you're closing on a home. Do not go and buy a car. Do not go and get a new phone. Do not get anything that's going to affect your credit, because it's going to mess up the process, and they're going to have to redo it all. You could get denied from doing that. It really does mess up a lot of things. And so with pre-qualification, they use an estimated credit score, right? And so it's not always your actual credit score. And I know, Antonio, right, you were saying there was 3 different major credit bureaus that pull your credit, correct?
Consumer reporting agencies. That's one thing
Okay.
I always emphasize. The only bureau is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. But we've been taught, and as they are called the bureaus, but they're actually consumer reporting agencies.
Got it. Okay, thank you. See, I'm still learning here too. But the first step, with clients that ask me about it, I really tell them, go and do your research on the history. It's hard to be able to understand a concept or really a topic of anything without understanding the history of it. And so even myself, I went back and really started studying, okay, when did mortgages start coming about? When did the credit system really start coming about? I feel almost understanding the origination of things can give you some insight on the process and development of it, in which it'll kind of give clarification, in its current standing. So hang on, give me one sec. I have a bunch of notes here. I just did a Google Docs and just wrote a bunch of stuff. But with credit, so let's start with the Airbnb. I know, Antonio, we wanted to touch base on that. A lot of people are on the rise of Airbnb and, acquiring subleases and houses of their own, sublease, what have you. There was the boom about 3 years ago. It rose 73% of new Airbnbs had come about. I mean, they did over, I think it was somewhat near $1 trillion just last year alone. And they're going to be bringing in close to that this year as well. And so with that, obviously HOAs and other companies kind of looked at that and were like, okay, we need to kind of take advantage of this, because if it works, everyone's going to want to do it. So I did notice that there were certain states that placed, local laws and state laws and prohibited this, prohibited that, really put in every single speed bump they possibly could to make it as hard as possible to acquire a loan or any form of financial help in order to start this. And so I think that has a direct correlation with why it's been so hard with renters as well, because they're prohibiting Airbnbs from places. They're a lot more strict on who they let in and who they approve. The more money you have is the better. There's really a lot I can go into it, but I guess, Antonio, I think the best thing for me is if anyone has specific questions about credit and direct correlation with real estate, I think that's kind of the best, because I could talk about it forever in a million different avenues. But if anyone has actually any direct questions, I think we can just go off of there, if that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why I wanted to get you on this call. Really, to have you as those that are looking for real estate. Now we have somewhere to go. Now you have somebody to hit up, because that's not my specialty. That's not, I'd rather pass that off to somebody that specializes in that, such as you. So I just wanted to really just bring that connection and just get people introduced to you, your movement, your vision with this, and just to get to know you a little bit more. And yeah, once again, those of you that are in the market and looking to get into the Airbnb, we got a couple individuals in which have, and on the YouTube as well too. So we got some value in the mentorship and within the YouTube alone on Airbnb. But those that are looking for property itself, now we know somebody that we can hit up and just learn some more information. Carmen, like I said, she's been around some high individuals, high net worth individuals within the real estate industry. So she's somebody that if you got questions, you guys can reach out to her. Where can we find you? What's your Instagram? And maybe to go to website, or where can we find you?
My website is definitely currently under construction right now, but I can get that to you as soon as it's up and going. For now, I can just put in my Instagram quickly. One sec.
Especially Arizona's on the rise. A lot of new cities growing on the outskirts. A lot of people are going here. It's a melting pot just as a whole. And I mean, as far as business, I see this like the new Atlanta, and y'all know how many entrepreneurs have blown up in Atlanta. Like there's freeways everywhere in Arizona, so everything is like 30 minutes away. So now I see like now's the best time for people in Arizona, especially as entrepreneurs, to have properties, to have real estate. People come here all the time for spring games. Like there's a lot of activities and things in motion, in which is taking place within the valley. So now is the best time to get into and find out about property and real estate within the Arizona. And just there's a lot of places outside of just Phoenix alone.
And off of that, I will say I've had a lot of people like talking about, should I buy, should I sell, this or that. Every single person is different. So I don't like giving just one generic answer. It depends on you. If I have a home buyer that's asking, I would really like to buy here. What do you think? Okay, what are your long-term goals? Like what are you looking for this to be a forever home? Are you looking for this just to be an investment home? Is this just your first home you want to be for a couple of years? Just kind of getting a backstory of why you're making this decision and what you're trying to get out of it is going to not only be helpful for you, but it's also going to be really helpful for when you go and shop for those loans. A lot of the times the loan officer is the one sitting there and asking you questions and this and that. You should be asking them the same thing. Why should I go to you? Why should I trust you with this process? Why should I go and pick from one of your packages when I could go to a different company? You want to make sure that the person that you were doing this transaction with is someone that not necessarily obviously knows what they're doing, but truly has an understanding of why you're doing this. Because there's so many different loan programs. There's so many different grants. There's so many there's so many different things, and there's so many different things that you can go out and really utilize. But again, it just depends on what is best for you and what you're trying to get out of this purchase. Or if you are selling a home, why are you selling a home? Are you going to go buy in the same area? Or you're going to be paying the same price? So I really just more so ask people personal questions and try to get to know them and why they're making this decision. And then that way I can gather that information and then put whatever is best suited in my professional opinion in front of them and then let them go from there. I don't make decisions for my clients. I just advise, I gather as much data as I can, and whatever they decide to do with it, I'm here for you either way. I did see a question. Sorry, I'm going to go back. I didn't read it. Can you elaborate more on Airbnb? So can you elaborate more on Airbnb? Can it be all type of property, or would it have to be an investment property? I just want to clear, are you asking for, I just want to see, can it be, so are you talking about like loans, like what kind of loans would be applicable to like an investment or a personal?
I think so.
Yes. Okay. So yes. So there are different loan types for investment and for personal. A couple things to look out for. One is I always check with the building first. I don't call them. I go on Airbnb or I'll go on MLS Access, but I go on Airbnb, I'll go on Zillow, and I'll see what building they have that unit posted in. I'll then go into that building and see their HOA regulations and see if that is something that they offer or if that's something that they're not for. A lot of the times you'll see on, especially on Zillow, there are a lot of rentals or subleases or Airbnbs that are not allowed to be there. And even though you could get away with it for some time, it's almost like stealing from the same place and not getting caught, but they know, and the consequence of that would be so much worse. So I always just check with the building. Does the building allow it? And then let's say they do. Okay, where do you go from there? If you're going to be taking out any type of loan to fund your Airbnb, again, pre-approval, first step. And shop around. Say you get pre-approved here, don't just stay there. It's just like getting a realtor or going to a dentist or clothes. Like, you're gonna go to different places. So I always advise shop around, even if it's this perfect pitch story, always look. There's always going to be something that can offer you more, loophole, what have you. When I acquired my first Airbnb, I had saved a lot. And I did acquire a small little business loan that I was able to put down a few months rent. And with that, I was able to pay it back within that year. But I would look at your current financial situation. How much money are you really wanting to put into this? Are you going to be doing this for a long time? Are you going to be signing a 6-month lease? Are you going to be signing a year lease? So what do you want? Long-term vision, estimate your expenses. And then from there, I would then shop around, because you're going to have loan officers that say they can get you this much. You're going to have loan officers that say they can get you this much. You know exactly what you need. You know exactly what to ask. So I would just always what do you need? What do you know that you need? But there are a bunch of different loan types for investments. There are a bunch of different loan types just for personal. Again, it's just whatever is going to be best situated for you. Shop around and you'll be good. I do work with a few lenders that just do subleases. They do property management and Airbnb. So if you are interested, I could refer that information over to you.
Beautiful. Yes, and so y'all seen in the chat, her Instagram is My Property Matchmaker. So if y'all got any questions, feel free to reach out to her. Stay connected. She's a part of the family. And
one more question. Sorry.
Yeah,
What's a good strategy? What's a good strategy to not put as much down payment for a home? Okay, so is it personal or is it an investment? If it's personal, one, again, what are your finances? Be true and honest with yourself on that. And again, there's different loan programs. So is this your first home? Is this second home? Is it contingent on you selling another to acquire this one? And once you kind of answered those, you could go on Director's Mortgage right now, and I could show you 5 different loan programs that you could put little as 10 to 15% down. But keep in mind that is going to affect your interest rate significantly. So even though at first it may be, okay, I only need to put 10, maybe 15, maybe 20,000 down. That's nice. But it is going to reflect, the difference is going to reflect on that interest rate. So I would do a mortgage calculator. There's a ton of mortgage calculators on there. You could just Google mortgage calculator. There's different mortgage companies that'll have their own, or Google has their standard, and play around with the numbers. I even do that for myself. If I'm looking at a property there's a couple properties I've been looking at that I've been wanting to buy, but I've been looking at the interest rates, right? So I always go to a mortgage calculator. I'm not a math person, so I can't do it all in my head sometimes. And I play around with the numbers. And it's almost like if you have an idea in your head and you haven't put anything pen to paper, just writing something is going to start that fire. So I really would just take maybe 10, 15 minutes a day if it's something like a goal of yours that you want to hit soon, and just play around with the numbers. As far as the interest rates rising, personal opinion, unprofessional, I do believe they're going to go a little bit higher. Historically, we are not as high as we have been. I mean, it's reached 13% before. So even though that 7 is a little scary, you could always do a buy down later on. You could always refinance, right? But again, there's so many different loopholes and nicks and tricks that you can implement, but it's really truly getting a very clear and honest understanding of where you're currently at financially and what is the goal. whether it's an investment, personal Airbnb, personal property, are you going to hold it, right? If you hold it less than 2 years, you're going to have to pay a lot more taxes on it, especially in certain states. I know that's not a federal, or pardon me, a national thing, but there are a lot of states that if you hold less than 2 years, you're going to be paying a lot of taxes for as a single person or even as a married person. So just play around with it, even look up regulations. I even do that to this day. I make every day 15 minutes. I'll look up Arizona regulations, Florida regulations. I'm always keeping myself up to date with new programs and new laws because they change, I promise you, bi-weekly. I get at least 10 emails a week on new statutes and new regulations that have been changed or revised or what have you. So even as a citizen and not knowing anything about real estate, just doing that little research, a couple times a week, once a day, it is going to be so impactful to your knowledge, and you're going to feel so much more confident walking into that office or going and talking to an agent because you don't not know anything. You do have a good understanding at least where you're at. So I would definitely recommend that. But there are a ton of programs out there. You really just have to kind of do your research.
With your guys's specifically, do you know about the HUD 184 loans to Native American fund?
My brokerage is awesome. They're great. My broker Sierra is familiar with that. I personally have not worked with it, but my broker has. So again, also go into real estate offices and ask questions. You're going to have your agents that try to pitch you and recruit you and get your whole life story to be a client. It's comes with the territory, right? They have a job and need to pay bills too, understandable. But don't be afraid to go into a brokerage or a real estate office and say, hey, I need to speak with an agent. I would just like to get some understanding. I have some questions. That's what we're here for. And if they're giving you any attitude about it and just walking away and not having a signed contract, go to a different one. Like that's what I did before I got my license. And when I was looking to buy a home here, I just went into different brokerages and I asked them questions. I was asking them about the interest rates. I was asking them about what loan types. I was asking them, okay, explain that. I know that name, but what does that really mean? How does that work? Don't be afraid to ask them questions because that's what we're here for. That's what we should be here for. Whether you choose to work with us or not, we're here to educate. So don't be afraid to call brokerages or go in and ask them questions.
Beautiful. Well, I think I don't see any more questions. Y'all got her Instagram though, so definitely reach out to her if you guys got any questions. It's gonna be recorded and uploaded on YouTube as well too. So anybody watching this on the YouTube, y'all know where to find her on Instagram. My Property Matchmaker. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm grateful, for where we're at, but all that's to come. Truly,
Yeah,
I see a lot of big things coming in the future for us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Next time, maybe we can talk. I can do like a specific subject and we can just go very detailed into it, whether it be Airbnb, property management. We could pick a subject within that realm and I can really go heavy into it and we can like,
let's do it. Let's get some stuff up for WHATS University so we can get some course material for the university specifically.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me know what you need for that.
I got to show you it too. We'll hop on a call like this weekend, or this week, upcoming week, and I'll show you what it looks like in some of the videos in which we have and just how it would fit into everything which we already have going on.
Yeah, of course. I love it. I appreciate your help. My clients have been saved by this man. Yes. So really appreciate it. Thank you.
Always. It's love. Have a blessed one.
Have a great rest of Sunday, y'all.
Yeah, peace.
Bye.
All right, y'all. So let's get into it. So I'm going to show you guys specifically. So yes, we had talked about the consumer reporting agencies with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Right, that's a big no-no, which we never do, is calling them a bureau. And the thing is, in which y'all gotta realize is that there's over 330 reporting agencies. I want you guys to study the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and that's 15 USC 1681A. 15 USC Title 15, the title we always study, which has protection. 15 USC US Code 1681A, and that's the definition section of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Within there is going to define a consumer reporting agency. I want you guys to understand is that once again, there's over 300 reporting agencies in which are furnishing and buying and selling our information, outside of just the 3 consumer reporting agencies in which we know of. So speeding tickets, insurance policies, um, rental history. If you guys got evictions, late payments, from any previous apartments, maybe it was 5, 10 years ago. There's companies outside of Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion in which are reporting it, in which when you go do a credit check and when you go do the credit application, they're pulling these certain consumer reports. They're not so much checking your Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, your FICO, credit scoring system and your consumer reports through those 3 reporting agencies, but they're checking other reporting agencies. So specifically when it comes to rent, I know a lot of people are getting denied for rent, maybe because of past rental history, maybe you guys were attached to it somehow, you guys co-signed, whatever it may have been. I'm going to show you guys some game right now on how to go through, and apply for your consumer report through the certain consumer reporting agency you guys want to go. And then I'm going to show you guys some accounts in which you guys want to add on before you guys go out and apply for lending from these, mortgage lenders when it comes to going up for financing for property to get into your guys' first investment property, or even if you're just looking for a first home. And I'm going to give you guys some tips on what to do, what banks to hit up, which will help you guys with the lowest interest rates. So go to Rent Grow anything. If you guys are having trouble and denial of you guys getting approved for renting at all, come here, request a copy of your screening report and review it. Once you guys review it, you guys can see it's as simple as, 1, 2, 3, you guys implementing your guys' information in here, and you guys will get a copy of your guys' consumer report through Rent Grow. You guys would be surprised to see some of the information in which is being reported through these consumer reporting agencies. Not only them, I'm gonna give you guys a couple other ones as well too. LexisNexis. You guys can literally come here and type LexisNexis consumer report, application. So request form, LexisNexis, get your LexisNexis report. You guys can come here, get your Sage Stream, consumer report. And those are the ones in which I'm going to give you guys right now. So Sage Stream, LexisNexis, and Rent Grow. When it comes to report, when it comes to your insurance, if any of those are high, you guys want to check specifically these reporting agencies right here. Once again, specifically definitely Rent Grow. You guys want to request a copy of your Rent Grow with tenant screening and get that completely clean. Because we got to understand, and this dates back all to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, under the congressional findings, these consumer reporting agencies have assumed a vital role. They've just assumed this role. And if I assume that I'm the president of the United States, that does not make me the president of the United States. I am just assuming this role. I'm not actually, there's no evidence and there's nothing to actually back me being the president of the United States. These consumer reporting agencies have no power at all, and it states that within the congressional findings of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And I gotta tell you guys, because I know I got some new people, and I don't want y'all to think I'm just pulling this out of nowhere. All right, an elaborate mechanism has been developed for investigating and evaluating consumer reporting agencies, or evaluating the credit worthiness, credit standing, and credit capacity. It's highly, highly disrespectful to call somebody or something an elaborate mechanism. And then they talk and they tell us in number 3 that they've just assumed this vital role, right? And we're talking about a vital. If anybody is in the medical field, y'all know the definition of vital, and vital can literally be life or death. Now we got right here, number 4, they talk about a respect for the consumer's right to privacy, but they don't define privacy. That means Congress leaves it up to you as a consumer to define, what's private to you and what's not private to you. So this right here just should just show that none of these reporting agencies should even be furnishing this information, and that's why we're able to get any of these accounts deleted off our report first and foremost. Now I want to show you guys 3 accounts in which you guys can report onto your consumer report. But before I do, I want to take you guys here to the 6 data points because this is a part of the six data points. I'm gonna take you guys back here once I get to that data point, which applies to it specifically. So when it comes to what these lenders are even checking for, and to help you get a lower interest rate, and what I wanted to clarify, is in general as well too, when going out and applying for any cars or any mortgages, you don't want to go to that mortgage company specifically. You don't want to go to the dealership and apply for an auto loan through the dealership, because I know, and I've many of you guys on this call alone have gone through and done this, and you guys have seen that you've left the dealership with 10 to 15 inquiries with banks that you are not doing business with. Those banks benefited off your credit. Those banks got the finance charge that, if you look on your contract, you'll see the finance charge is tens of thousands of dollars. Each time you guys see an inquiry, that's a receipt of a transaction. That means that somebody benefited off of your guys' credit and they were paid. Anytime you guys see an inquiry, once again, that's a receipt of a transaction. So you guys going out, you guys want to make sure that you guys have these six data points on your guys' consumer report so that you guys can get approved. And when you guys go to these lenders, you guys want to be going to specifically credit unions and also regional banks. So credit unions and regional banks are the banks we want to really focus on, especially if we don't already have a mortgage loan or any type of auto loan or any type of big loan history in general. What will help build you guys' report in general, because you guys are going to see right now, the first data point in 35% of your consumer report is your payment history. So with that being said, you guys say if you guys got any extra capital, I always recommend, you guys always see people, or I don't necessarily recommend, but you guys always see people. What I do recommend is what I'm about to go over right now, with these three accounts in which I'm about to cover with you guys. But one thing in which a lot of people do recommend is getting added on as an AU to somebody's car, whether it's a family member or whether they go through TradeLineSupply.com and they buy a trade line, an authorized user, which that reports payment history, that reports tens of thousands of each month in a card that's been open for 2 years or 5 years. So we'll add and give that payment history and also the age of credit. It'll also help age your credit if you don't have many accounts that are above a year or 2 years old. You guys want to have at least 4 years of credit, and you guys are going to come to see that right now within one of the six data points. So these are what all these lenders are looking at when it comes to you guys going out and getting this lending, when you guys want to get into real estate or get into the car game or whatever it may be in general. Anytime you're just leveraging your credit as a whole, even if you're looking to go get some credit cards, and I'm going to show you guys some things in which you guys can do with your credit cards to get into real estate to help you guys with the down payment after I go over these six data points as well too. So number one, payment history. This is 35% of your report. If you guys have any late or missed payments, that's going to affect your report more than anything. Those are also very simple to get removed. A lot of times, if you just call the creditor, you guys will be able to get those accounts removed just from you guys being able to call and explain the situation and why maybe it was late or whatever it may have been. You guys can, of course, go through and dispute whether that be through the CFPB, maybe filing the FTC report. Through the FTC report, if you do, you want to be specific. Through the description that it is late payment, that the whole account is not fraud, but specifically the late payment is inaccurate, because they have a grave responsibility to report fair and accurate information. And you, the consumer, define what's fair and what's accurate. That's how powerful you are as a consumer. All right. So the consumer reporting agencies divide all of your payments up. So if you guys have multiple late payments, it's going to affect your guys' payment history, and that's going to affect you guys' score above all those. You guys can have 20 accounts of 100,000, but if you guys got late and missed payments on there, your score is going to be drastically hurt. Although once you get those late and missed payments removed and off your report, your guys' score will be very strong having those 10 to 20 accounts on your report. The next thing is credit utilization under 10%. So if you guys got credit cards, let's say of $1,000, we want to keep our utilization below 10%, so below $100. You guys can, of course, yes, max out the card and go through. And what I teach you guys and what I was going to cover today, and I might as well just cover now. So check me out. Make sure you guys got your notebook out right here. What you guys can do with a lot of you guys' cards, as you guys have multiple credit cards, is you can liquidate your credit card per se go, and this is called manufacturer spending. And this is what I've learned from my mentor, him 500. I always give credit where credit's due. Him 500 is a legend, is a GOAT in the credit industry. And he talks about manufacturer spending. And this is how you get higher limit credit cards. And this is also how you can leverage your credit cards and turn credit to cash. You can go to, per se, a store, because Jesse, chief of director with YBC, works at Macy's. So let's say we go to Macy's and I have a credit card that's $20,000. I can spend and liquidate $20,000 at Macy's on my credit card. Per se, I got, reward points or travel points with this card as well too. Now I just liquidated 20,000. Now I got $20,000 in reward points. Now I go back a day or two later and I return all of the clothes or the suit in which I got, the shoes I got, the designer shoes I got. I go return everything. Now when I get it refunded, I'm gonna get refunded back onto a debit card. It doesn't matter what card it gets returned to. It's going to be a debit card. They don't ask what card. Really, what you want to do with it as well too. When you do the 20,000, you want to put about 15,000 on the credit card and about 5,000 on the debit card. So now you got to split payment. Now they'll 100% for sure, without asking, put it on that debit card in which you would split the payment with. So you guys go through and do that. Now you guys just liquidated 15,000 off your credit card, got $15,000 worth of points, reward points. And now you guys, so once again, the 10%, you guys can, yes, max out the card. That's what I'm getting at. But when they're reporting it to the consumer reporting agencies, you guys want to have it below that 10%. I know we've been told 30%, but you really want to have it below 10%. And that's simply just the date in which they're reporting it. So you want to know which date they're reporting that account to the consumer reporting agencies. Because there's a reporting date and there's a closing date. The closing date is the last day to make your payment, your minimum payment. The reporting date is the date in which they report it to the consumer reporting agencies. Next is your age of credit. You want to have at least 4 years of credit, 3 to 4 years on your consumer report. And if you don't, I'm going to show you guys some accounts that will help you guys, add some history onto your guys' report right now on this call specifically. You also want to have 10 positive accounts, and this circulates back to number one with the payment history being 35% of your report. Having 10, positive accounts, more accounts equals more history. Once again, so you guys going out and adding on more primary accounts and different AUs and different rental, trade lines in which you can add onto your report. This is going to help you guys build out your report and have more history to be able to reflect more from your report. Number 5 is you want to have 2 to 3 inquiries. The more inquiries that you have, the higher it's going to put you, the higher risk it's going to put you. Also, you want to have no derogatory items, no repos, no evictions. I recently was able to delete a repo off the 3 consumer reporting agencies from my report. I've had to deal with that and get that removed for the past 3 months now, and I've been able to get that removed. Collections have been able to get removed left and right. Student loans, I've been able to get removed from my clients left and right. I've got 4 clients now in which I've been able to help them with student loans get removed. So now YBC is at 100,000 in which we've been able to dispute in student loan debt. Repossessions, we've been able to help with bankruptcies. We got 1 bankruptcy. We got another one underway with my guy, Michael. So we got a lot of things in which a lot of success stories and the blueprint is laid out above all else. And that's what I'm getting at. I'm not telling you guys this to impress you, but to impress upon you. We've been here before. We've done this. The blueprint is there. And once you guys just exercise and truly understand consumer law, now you guys can go out and truly assert yourself and be able to remove any account and help anybody in your family remove any account as well too. And that's what we teach you guys and really stress within the university itself is consumer law and teaching you guys and showing you guys how to do for self so that now you guys don't got to rely on any company to help you and your family. Now you guys can go out and do for self and learn this for self because really that's, where the true power is in doing for self. So those are the 6 data points we're really, looking to meet when it comes to our FICO personal consumer report. And I always tell you guys it's all about controlling the consumer report rather than worrying about the credit score because without the credit score, there would still be a consumer report. But without the consumer report, there would be no credit score. So the consumer report is the most vital thing and building it out properly is super vital. So right now, I'm going to show you guys 3 accounts which you guys can add on. So this will help you guys with hitting the 10 positive accounts, and this will also help you guys with adding on, some adding on some history to you guys' consumer report and helping you guys aid your guys' credit. So the first one is credit my rent. What you guys can do is you can backdate it as if you've been living there for the past 2 to 5 years. Say you've been living there for 3 years and paying rent for $2,000. If you know a homeowner, you can just get an agreement and just talk to the homeowner and let them know that they're gonna have a company be calling them to report that you've been living there for the past 2 years paying $2,000 in rent. And they'll call the homeowner, they'll verify with them, and from the verbal confirmation, they'll go through and report this on you guys' consumer report. So this is one of the accounts. Another account is rent reporters. I have a lot of my clients do this one. This one is $90, I believe, up front. And if you guys want a 25% off promo link, you guys can type in Billionaires Club, Billionaires Club with a V and not a U for club. And then also the last one is Rental Karma. That's actually for Rental Karma, excuse me. Rent reporters, we don't have a promo link, but for Rental Karma, this is the one I'm always recommending and that I always have my clients. This is the first account where when it comes to building out our report, this is the first account we're adding on our report. Is Rental Karma will help you report at least 50 to 75 points. So this one right here is definitely very helpful, along with these other 2 right here as well too. So these 3 right here is 3 reports, 3 accounts that will help you guys when it comes to you guys' consumer report. Let me see. Do y'all got any questions for me specifically? Do y'all got any questions? What is it called to be added onto someone's account for credit? It's called an authorized user. Yes. Yeah, him 500 go to. I always give credit where credit's due. But does anybody have any questions? If not, I'm about to hop into this movie. I wanted to just be in and out quick, straight to the point with this recording. This is going to be dropped on the YouTube, so y'all can definitely go back, replay this, watch this, and definitely tap in with Carmen and my mom as you guys go out and get the property, even for the cars and anything and everything really on our day-to-day basis. Y'all going to need, the non-toxic, non-chemicals, cleaning supplies and hand sanitizer. They got everything that you could think of, toothpaste without fluoride, things in which we use on a day-to-day basis that we're not aware of and which we're putting onto our body and which are truly causing these diseases and these sicknesses. So we can all prevent it, and our bodies are temple, so we got to truly take care of it. And as I always stress, health is wealth. And once you truly tap into your higher self and your inner self, you guys will see the importance and how vital this is with everything. So I appreciate y'all all tuning in. That's all from me. Definitely go watch this recording and go share this YouTube with everybody as well too. Appreciate y'all. Peace.